Bonefish. Bonefish.
Welcome to a very special edition of the D Stream. Today is a Thanksgiving episode. And what more do we celebrate in Thanksgiving than being with our loved ones, being with people that care about each other, that care about you? So today, we're not going to have one special guest, not two special guests, but three. But here's the catch. Today, we're going to have Ron on the show. What he doesn't know is we're also going to have Andy on the show. And what they don't know is we're also going to have Danny on the show. So it's going to be a little bit of surprise. Ron thinks he's going to have an exclusive one-on-one interview with me. Andy thinks the same thing. Danny probably thinks the same thing, but they're not. They're all going to have pretty much a verbal spar with each other. And that's all that Thanksgiving is about, if you really think about it. So welcome once again to the D Stream.
Peace bone got found in the dinosaur wing. Well, I've been jumping all over, but my fuse is slowly shrinking.
Before we begin that, because everyone they need some time to settle in. It's right now 6:08 p.m. I have a scheduled interview with them at 7 p.m. With Ronald, with Andy. Ronald says make it quick because I have things to do. Of course he does. And then Andy probably needs to catch up on sleep. Although it's Thanksgiving break, I don't know if he works this weekend. And Danny wanted me to extend it till 7:30. Man, if I told that to Andy and Ronald, I don't know if that would be possible. So that's the reason we're keeping it at 7 p.m. You're gonna see this later on, Danny, and I hope that that's okay. So before we get started, we're not going to talk about awards today. I don't have any awards lined up. However, uh, I'm not going to do any of the analysis by myself today. I'm going to have them chime in, talk about the league, talk about the standings, talk about the results. So that's going to be very fun. So what we're going to do together, us, is we're going to go and read the comments that we had on the last two episodes because last episode I didn't do it and I had a fair amount of very interesting comments. So we're going to go read those and then we'll check out the comments for last video as well. All right, so let's check it out. This was episode 3 with the commissioner, Dave. And we had our first comment from Alex. That means Alex is watching the show. I want to give a shout out to Alex. Thank you for watching the show, man. I had you touted as one of the main members of the D Stream Haters United, but it seems like maybe at least you saw one of them. So let's go ahead and read his comment. I'm scared and confused that Leo thinks 10-7 NFL score is bad when it's the equivalent of 2-1 in soccer. Okay. Uh, yes, it's not 2-1. It's like 1.5 to 1. Fair enough. It's kind of like, yeah, but a 2-1 in soccer is actually very exciting. A 1.5 to 1 doesn't happen. A 1-1 is kind of boring result. But considering that, you know, NFL scores aren't really 10-7, you're talking about 20 to something or 30 to something, 10-7, especially for a team that was Super Bowl champion, you would think they'd score more. But I respect your analysis of it. But this is NFL, man. We're not talking about soccer. His other comment also, why does David Gonzalez have foliage on his staircase? What a piece of shit. Yeah, look at that. Piece of shit indeed. Honestly, who the nerve that Dave has sporting foliage on his staircase. Give me 1 second. Test, test. So yeah. The next comment, Andy. Andy M305, he changed his screen name. That's funny. Look at Alex's. Alex Orda 5160. Should we gaslight him into changing his screen name like we did with Andy M305? We'll see. Why does Dave live life like he's in a reality show? I ask myself that same question every day. Crazy how he thinks everything is about him. Yeah. Also, did I hear that right? He cleans his ass with a douche? Makes sense. Laugh out loud. Leo, stay strong. World Cup is only a few months away. Future champ out. Haha. All right. So Andy is considering himself the champ, the future champ of this league. Um, his analysis of Dave, the commissioner, thinking life is all about himself, and while he cleans his ass with a douche, it's a very, very deep analysis of the psyche of our commissioner, and it's no wonder then why we have a problem with him as leader, him being the the manager of our fates in fantasy football in this league. So, you know, it if there's any question as to why we're upset most of the time, it's because of those things. He lives his life thinking he's the main character, cleans his ass with a douche. Come on, man. And then Bill. Bill responded to Andy's comment. Look at the D League chat right after Leo linked this. Nonstop. It's gross. He was too busy last week to comment, and his only one was about his stupid trade not being mentioned. Yeah, I bust my ass every day trying to get this stream up, trying to get this entertainment up to the league, and all he does is criticize, criticize, criticize. Incredible. Danny commented, it's insane that Dave states most people in the league are fine with divisions. This was very, very surprising for me as well. At the beginning of the season, when he asked about rule changes, everyone said they wanted divisions removed. It's true. Um, and he ignored us. And he says it was never an issue. Wild. Also, there's an asterisk next to Dave's championship. We all know that. Frank is last season's true D League champion. Absolutely. We talked about this in the last episode. Um, you know, people might feel alienated with divisions. He says, no, people welcome it. People welcome the chaos. I think only he welcomes the chaos. Bill stated something in the chat. Let me see if he mentions it here. Not yet, but Bill's mentioned it on the chat, and it's a really, really good point that Bill brought up, and it's that Dave wants divisions not because of the chaos, but because then he will only have to compete against 2 teams rather than 10 or 11 teams in a league. And it's so true. It's so true that he only has to worry about being first place out of 3 teams. And one of them is him. So it's very convenient for him to keep wanting divisions, and then this year not making it 4-team divisions, making it 3-team divisions. So very convenient. Danny followed up with free Frankie. Yes, hashtag free Frankie. And then Bill said, this is why I can't support a stream that starts off with dumbass commish. Good luck, Leo. I'm sure your parts are great, but idiot Dave to start. I'm sorry, Bill. Honestly, my mistake. But I knew that that a little bit of rage bait might be enough to get more people to start viewing the stream. So I did it as a purely marketing decision, and not because I wanted to, not because it makes the stream look nice. On the contrary, it makes it right off the bat controversial, and sometimes that's what we need. Let's go to last week's episode where 2 people commented, Sean, the way the media ignores my team achievements year after year is despicable. When you're really good at something, you get mentioned. When you're really bad at something, you get mentioned. But when you're mid, nobody cares about mid. That's just anybody can be mid, I'm last place watch, or Marcos is last place watch. We'll talk about that later. But and Andy, Danny, Ronald, they're fighting for first place. Even Dave, Dave's the commissioner, and he's fighting for first place, or top. But when you're a wild card, you're basically mid card, and when you're mid, it's really hard to talk about you. Maybe once the playoffs start kicking off and maybe you get into those semifinals, maybe hit the final, we'll talk a little bit more about your team. But as long as you're mid, it's very difficult. Danny, Leo put his bad juju on me when he gave me the stamp of approval to win the league. Yeah, I mentioned that in the show, and it's true, but I did not do it on purpose, Danny. And today we'll talk a little bit about that. But I promise it was not on purpose. It was just more, I really had high hopes for you. And the minute the D stream starts, you just start taking a tumble downwards, and not much we can do about that. But I promise I didn't make any deals with the commissioner. Um, Although it might look like it, and I didn't make any deals with the fantasy gods. There, well angry with me. So that's about all we have for the comments section. And now I'm gonna pull up Sleeper, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for these guys to tune in. Let's so let's go back to this. So as I said, Ronald has no idea he's gonna be sharing the screen with two other league members besides myself. Andy doesn't know that either, and neither does Danny. So this is gonna be very, very entertaining. I can't wait to see their reactions, and I'm sure you can't either. So let's uh let's take a little bit of a break and we'll get back to you when that begins.
Yeah, you are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want.
Welcome back. We're here with Ronald, Danny, and Andy. Thanksgiving special. Unfortunately, the part where they were all surprised with each other joining, I lost that footage. We had a little bit of a malfunction. We also, classic, had a little bit of a time issue because of Ronald. So we have Ronald right here showing face. Andy, do you have anything to say before we get started? Do you have anything to say to Ronald about his timeliness or lack thereof?
Man, I've experienced this for years already. So it's not even a surprise anymore. Latest episode was Marcos' reveal of him being a dad, and we showed up 2 hours late because Ronald, man, you know how it is.
2 hours late to the gender reveal. That's it'll only happen with Ronald. But here we are. He didn't show up 2 hours late. It was 30 minutes late, and because of a malfunction, a little bit of a little bit of issues that I had with the stream, we're about 45 minutes late. But boys, thank you for coming. Danny, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the live. Like, this is the first time I've been on one of the full podcasts. Actually, usually I've answered a couple of questions, but full interview this time.
Yeah,
so it's about to be fun.
We're upgrading. We got video, audio now. It's great, and people are really tuned in this season. So it's great. Now, guys, before I kicked off this episode, I gave a little bit of an intro. I told people that I was going to surprise you guys because Ronald was under the impression that it was going to be a one-on-one. Andy was under the impression it was going to be a one-on-one. And so did Danny. But here we are together because it's a Thanksgiving episode. And what better than to spend it with people that we cherish, people that cherish each other. So, guys, I want to once again say I'm very thankful for you guys being on the podcast, being on the stream, and let's kick it off. So the way I started this episode was I was just reading a bunch of the comments from the YouTube videos. I haven't done any of the analysis. Why? Because I want you guys to analyze everything. Being that you three are top of your divisions or very close, all three of you are making it to playoffs. So what a better way to analyze what happened in the league than by having all three of you here. Now, it just so happens that even though you three are, qualifying to the playoff spot, all three of you are also this week's losers. So we're going to go one by one with your matchups, and you got to analyze the reason you lost, your opponent. You're going to give a little bit of congratulations, something you're thankful for about them. So we're going to go into a share screen. All right, boys. So we're right now week 13, but last week was week 12. So we're going to look at week 12. Let me move this a little bit. Okay. We're going to look at week 12, boys. And it starts off. We're going to start off with not with me. We'll leave mine for the end because my matchup with Marcos was actually a last place watchable. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe I'll talk about it off screen. But besides that, this is the division matchup: Andy versus Danny. I'm sorry, Dave versus Danny. We'll talk about that last. This is Andy versus Freddie, and we had Ronald versus Adrian. Ronald, I want you to start off versus Adrian. You got demolished. This is the father-son bull right here, and you really got demolished. Any words to Adrian about what he did to you, about what you did in your lineup? You started Bryce Young, and he gave you 8 points. Let's start there.
Well, I had no other choice. It was either him or Jordan Love, which he didn't do anything spectacular. So, no, Adrian just had a good week. Today that week I'm his son, so that's all it is. His team blew up.
Ronald, you have Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. This has been a real blessing for you this season. What do you feel about having a player like this every week giving you 18, 20, 30, 37 points this week?
Bro, it's awesome getting them in the 4th round. You can't get better than that, right?
Yeah.
I have him and JT, so if JT's not carrying me, is JSN carrying me? So
JT put up 8 points. Very tragic. Stephon Diggs. Yeah, you had a really shit performance by most of your players. Your IDP guy blew up, but so did his. Very unfortunate. Right here, you had back-to-back. Look at this. George Pickens, Wandale, ETN. Yeah, he went to town with you.
Yeah, Adrian is a low-key dark horse in the league, so I wouldn't doubt it. He goes very far. So
now, Ronald, you're an ex-former champion. To a lot of people, you're a paper champion. But nonetheless, you are a champion. I think you won in that year where a bunch of players. What was it? A player died on the field or something, or almost died on the field, and a bunch of players ended up not playing that last game. So how do you answer your critics that say you're a paper champion?
The only way to answer is by winning it this year. So hopefully, I get to go to the finals and prove my worth, I guess.
Andy, what are your thoughts on Ronald not accepting that he's a paper champ?
I mean, it's hard for Ron to accept anything. Let's be real. Ron's never been a big threat in fantasy. I'm not worried. It doesn't really matter.
Last week I destroyed you.
People will argue, Andy, that meanwhile Ronald is not really a threat in fantasy. He does have a championship, and they might argue that you are not really a threat in fantasy. How do you answer your critics?
They might be right. I'm not sure. People forget that I won this league when it was the actual Home Depot league before it turned into this about Dave. And this league actually has some guts and balls.
Yeah,
I won this league.
And so
people forget that. So
you are a former champ,
bro.
You are a former champ in the original formation of this league. Were you also part of the Home Depot league, Danny?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and did you ever win it in the Home Depot era or in any era?
Not.
No,
I did not. Not in this league.
So right now, out of everybody here, you are the grand underdog. Besides myself, of course, but I'm already out of that race. It's on you guys. Let's look at Andy versus Freddie. This was a little bit closer considering how points are scored this year with IDP and just a lot of players that just blow up and stuff. But Andy, what do you feel about this result? You're on a 2-game losing streak, are you not?
Yeah, man. It's been a few tough weeks for me. I mean, Kamara has been one of the worst picks I've done. He's just been terrible all year. He got in first quarter, then come back 3 points.
Yeah.
Not much I can do. DK Metcalf did all right. CeeDee Lamb dropped a touchdown.
Tragic.
My tight end Laporta, I think, broke his back. He's out for the year.
Ugh.
So it's been a rough few weeks, and then I didn't notice my IDP had 2 points. Wow. That sums it up right there.
Yeah, there you go.
I still put up 130. I'm fine with that,
Yeah, you put up a good amount of points. Andy, your loss, do you credit towards just having an off week, or is it because your players are indeed falling off, and maybe this might be a call to attention, call to arms for you to start revamping your team before playoffs?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm dealing with injuries now, but my best player, A-Chain, was on a bye.
Okay,
Just took him out for, you know.
very
But
true.
I give credit to Fred. He did good. He had a decent team.
Yeah, Freddie's searching
Almost
for
been sucking.
he's searching for a wild card spot, but it's going to be very difficult because of the way the divisions are organized. Danny, you were very vocal. You have been very vocal on the comments and just on the chat about divisions. Before we go and talk about your matchup, what are your thoughts on divisions? What are your thoughts on the the commissioner kind of just blowing it off and brushing it aside and just not really addressing the qualms of the league members?
I'm glad you bring that up because you know I did have a comment in a previous interview that you had.
Yeah.
Dave said that he gave everyone in this league the option to vote on that. And you know, we did bring it up at the beginning of the season, like, hey, most of us don't want divisions, and we said let's put it up for a vote, and he said no thanks, and he added an extra division instead of just the three that we normally had. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna just add one more to make it make less sense.
Yeah.
So you know, it's tough when you have a couple strong teams that should be in the playoffs and they're gonna miss it because there's one bad division that's gonna get one free playoff spot. So it's a shame for those people that are gonna miss the playoffs, whoever that may be. It could be me, it could be Sean, it could be Adrian. We don't know yet. It's gonna be really tight here at the end. But I just find it insane that he's gonna say that he gave us the option when we all were voting against it and he just ignored us. But that's
And
Dave.
Andy, you have actually been sabotaged one year when it came to divisions. Can you explain to us a little bit about how that went down?
I can't recall too much, but I think I had a better record. I believe it was other than Dave, and Dave put himself ahead of me and put himself in the playoffs. But talking about that, I kind of like the divisions now. To be honest, it's kind of grown on me. You know, it is pretty
Convenient when he's in first in his division, huh?
I like the division. I came out with the mindset from the beginning of the year that we had divisions, so I think it's all right. I'm fine with it. I don't care about the top six. I like that Bill's gonna get in. Bill's a dark horse. He has a good team. I like it. You know, it is in football they have divisions, and it can be a shitty team to get to the playoffs. So it is what it is.
Yep.
I come to like it, to be honest.
Ronald, do you agree with Andy or?
Oh yeah, bro. I've never had an issue with divisions, so I'm glad he's liking it. I feel sorry for Junior, but yeah, divisions are dope, man. Not a lot of leagues do divisions, so.
Well, as of now, or at least as of last week, it wasn't Junior who's being sabotaged. It's Adrian. We're gonna look at that in a little bit, but let's talk really quick, Danny, about your matchup, which was the bowl. It was the first place bowl for your division, and Dave came out on top. I bet you guys are very thankful in this Thanksgiving season that I don't have Dave on this interview for the podcast.
Yeah, that would have been annoying to listen to. That would have been because you know every matchup, whether he wins by 0.5 or 30, it's a blowout. Like he destroyed the opponent. Like that makes complete sense. But I'll give him credit here. He did win. He evened up the series. I beat him at the beginning of the season, and he beat me now. So we're tied 1-1. I expect to go into the playoffs, and we'll have a rematch to see who's the better player when we get to the playoffs.
Definitely. I think you guys will see each other, and I don't think at that point Jahmyr Gibbs will be putting up 55 points. I think 55 points. You subtract 30 of those points, and I think he only wins by 1 point, but still 55 points.
Even then, he had a little bit of luck on his side. Besides Jahmyr Gibbs,
look at Addison 0 points.
Jamar Chase decided to lubricate a player last week and got suspended for it. So I was without Jamar Chase. I also had some bye weeks, some painful bye weeks this week, and you know I've been dealing with injuries, so you know he had a little bit of an advantage. I had to plug in some players from the waiver wire, but he pulled it out, and Jahmyr Gibbs really helped him. That's not going to happen every single week, so.
No, it's
But
not.
but I'll give him the credit. He's got the win. We're tied at the series. I'll definitely see him in the playoffs.
Yeah, he put up a lot of bad players up too. Kyron
Yeah,
had
100%.
5
Like
points.
he had a
Points
couple
Addison.
donuts.
Yeah.
Had some low ones too. Like
He had
it kind of
0.5.
evened out. It's just
Yeah.
that Jameer Gibbs really blew up, and
He
me not
really
having
really saved his ass. Yeah,
Jamar Chase not being there. Jamar Chase would have, I think, at least gotten me 15, 20 points.
Exactly.
And it would have made a difference. But it is what it is. That's fantasy football for you.
exactly. And then we're talking about a different story, and that's the frustrating part about fantasy football. Who else played? We had Sean versus Alex. This is Sean continuing to show that he's a force to be reckoned with. He's in the same division as you, Andy. How do you feel? Because now Sean and yourself are both 8-4. We're gonna look at divisions in a little while, but this win, what does that mean for you and in the division and stuff?
Yeah, it's concerning. I'll say that. Sean's been hot.
Yeah.
He's been winning. I play him this week, actually, so...
Oof. Okay, we'll look at that in a little while. That's gonna
Matchup
be
of the week,
definitely
maybe.
a matchup of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
For
playing
sure.
really good. Team's been doing really good. I mean, I beat him the first matchup. I plan to beat him again, to be honest, so...
Okay, good. Bill went against Bringus. I needed Bill to lose his next 3 games for me to even have a shot, and then I had to go 3-0. I won. We're going to talk about that in a little while, but Bill also won, and Bill pretty much cements himself as first place in the division. Bringus will probably not make it anywhere. And you guys say that you guys, if it's not for you guys winning the league, you are all rooting for Bill. Is that true?
100%.
No.
I don't know who I'm
Ronald says no.
for, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know who I'm rooting for.
Okay, you don't know who you're rooting for. How about you, Andy?
Fuck Bill. I would probably give it to... I would like Sean to win, to be honest.
Okay, that's cute. All right, that's cool. And then
I feel like
very
if Bill
humble
doesn't, if Bill can't win it, I would root for my brother to win it. As long as one of Morales' win the league this year, that would be fantastic and a good slap in Dave's face.
Yeah. Definitely, and that's what Thanksgiving's all about. Family and supporting each other and stuff. So that's very very cute. And then this was the last one, the Trash Bowl, the last place watch bowl, whatever you call it. I was 2-9. Marcos was 3-8, and I beat him, but too little, too late for me.
But Marcos is...
My highlights are the guy that I picked up off the waivers last week, and basically the first week I've been trying. Oh, and look at that! Jalen Hurts finally decided to have a good game. So that was that's really nice. But let's talk about really quick standings, guys. In the geographic anomalies, right now we have Representative Danny, who has been shot down. Not only are you guys no longer tied, you're 1 game below. So that's very tough. That's very tough, and you guys will not meet each other until playoffs if that's the case. What does this cause in you, Danny? Because for much of the league, I think the majority, if not all of it, you were here in that first place spot, and now you're here under Dave. How's that feel? Does it give you any emotions, negative, positive?
Definitely disappointing. I shouldn't have lost him this week. It's unfortunate, but I still don't see him at the top of the division in 2 weeks when the season's over. He's gonna keep the spot warm for me this week, and he's gonna lose this week, and I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna take it right back. So I'm not too concerned with it. Like it's my division. He's just keeping it warm.
Okay, that's good. That's a lot of positive mentality. We have Ronald, who's a representative of the 122 crew, and he's first place. Ronald, did you imagine yourself being first place when this league started?
Of course, for the job that I did, bro. Of course, man.
Okay, and how do you feel about Adrian right there? At your heels.
Nah, I'm not worried about it because the point differential is like way ahead. So.
Okay, so technically he's 2 games behind, not 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, fair. So right here we have. Okay, Danny, you're at 7-5. Adrian's at 7-5. That's getting scary. When it comes to divisions, this is getting very scary for Danny.
I'm
Don't sleep on Fred either.
Huh?
Don't sleep on Fred.
Yeah,
either.
we can't sleep on Freddie either. He's 6-6. We have 2 weeks left. That's very, very true. Very true. So it's getting tight, man. This is the part where it gets really exciting, especially with this division stuff. And Bringus, we can say he's done. Kendall Kings, we have Andy, representative of Kendall Kings, but he's tied with Sean. Points for wow. Okay, so you have about 216 points over Sean. So I don't think you're probably like one game ahead of him. But this is really close right here. And if Adrian gets a win, Freddie gets a win, Danny gets a win, and then all of a sudden everything's really even. Some thoughts on your division, Andy, on the Kendall Kings.
Like I said, I played Sean this week, so I think if I beat him this week, I solidify myself as number one in the division, and it's all right.
Okay.
I mean, Sean is scary though. I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. He's been on a hot streak, so
yeah.
But I think I'm gonna pull it off. My team is too stacked, I think, to not win the division at least.
Okay. And then we have Homestead Homies, of course, 3-9. We are the shit of the league. We will be competing in the Trash Bowl. That's going to be for another episode. We'll talk about it. But you have Bill here, 6-6. And with 6-6, Bill is taking the place of a 7-5 team, a 7-5 team, and a 6-6 team. Right now, 720, 1670, and then Bill is at 1736. Okay.
What is the point differential between Bill and Freddie? Does Freddie have more points than Bill?
1736. Bill and Freddie has 16 for 79.
Okay.
So
Bill would be ahead of him.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter though.
Let's look at this. All right. So as it stands right now, Ronald, you are receiving the bye. You are one of the first places, and Andy, you will be receiving the bye, being the other first place. It goes from Bill versus Sean right here, and then Danny and Dave. So as of now, Adrian is being taken out of the wild card because of Bill. This can all change in 2 weeks. It can change a lot. But
honestly,
right now,
I think I would like to stay where I'm at just so I can face Dave in the first round. That'd be so nice to knock him out in the first round.
Definitely would be very nice to see that. And then you have Bill and Sean. This is going to be the people's championship right here because we have a lot of people that are rooting for Bill, a lot of people that are rooting for Sean. And then Andy and Ronald get to wait very cozily. Ronald, you'll have to go against Bill or Sean. Andy, you'll have to go against your brother or Dave, your other bro. So it's gonna be a very personal semifinal for Andy, nonetheless. But this can all change, of course. Boys,
my brother should be worried there. I feel like he might make the playoffs.
In fantasy, dude, anything can happen. Boys, before we go, let's look at week 13 really quick. Okay, week 13, I go against Bill. This doesn't matter anymore. This is just for the show. Dave goes against Freddie. This is going to be a game that people are going to be watching, especially Danny. You're going to be watching this game really, really intensely because you need Freddie to beat Dave.
Oh, Freddie.
But at the same time, Freddie is in your division. So if you lose, Freddie wins, and Dave loses, all of a sudden, you and Freddie have the same record. That could get really complicated. You need to win. And you go against Alex.
Though. I got him on points, so I'm not worried about us having the same record.
Okay, so that's good. So then you go against Alex. This should be a win for you, don't you think?
I believe so. Last time I beat him like 200 to like 120, and it was pretty bad. So I'm trying to do the same thing this week.
And Alex is not doing really well, so that could definitely happen. That can be in your cards. Andy, you go against Sean. This is going to be game of the week, Andy. So congratulations, you are part of next week's game of the week. And then Ronald, you go against your bro, your primo, Bringus.
Yep.
Not much to say here. I think you should take that easily.
Yeah.
And then Adrian will go against Marcos. Marcos is having a really bad season. Adrian might win. This could be very complicated for you guys as well. For Danny especially, but for Sean, for Adrian as well. So very interesting. All right, boys. That's going to be all that I have to share right now. Let me put us back here. Boys, I want to thank you again for being part of this podcast. You are what makes this special, okay? And before we go, I would like each of you to take turns saying one thing you're thankful for in this fantasy season. Starting with Danny.
Oof, only one thing. Honestly, if I had to say what I'm thankful for in this league, it has to be this podcast. Like this is what makes the league. This is what makes it fun, interesting. The shit talking starts. This is what fuels that fire. And missing it that first half of the season was a shame. And I'm glad we have it here for the holidays, so we can really, besides roasting turkeys and hams, we roast Dave.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you, Danny. That's beautiful. Ronald, what are you thankful for in this fantasy season?
What Danny said, the podcast for sure, because literally the only reason why the D League is successful is because of the podcast. It makes it fun, makes it entertaining. And I'm just thankful for my league mates for allowing me to get JT, JSN, Bijan, McConkey, all my players. I'm thankful for my league mates. So thank you guys.
Andy?
I'm thankful for everyone that continues to join this league as friends, as brothers. We keep it going every year. It's been great. It's been fun. I'm thankful for the podcast. It keeps it entertaining. And, that's all I'm thankful for. This is the competitiveness. And also, fuck Dave. I'm tired of his very selfish needs in this league. I hope he sees this and sees that, it's not all about him all the time. We have it. This is a group thing. It's not all about him. That first podcast with him was fucking a snooze fest, man. It was a snooze fest. Someone had to say it. Like, he's not a main character of a TV show. He's not. It's not about him. It's tiring to see already, But I'm thankful for it. Thankful for the D League, how we keep it going every year. And I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and enjoy.
Awesome, man. Thank you, boys. All right, and I'll catch you on the next one. This will probably be out tonight. I'm going to get to editing it right now. But thank you very much. Dale.